Hello guys, how are we doing? So today I thought I should come here and share with you all how I was able to get admission into the US. I got admission into 5 schools in the US. So I thought I should share that information with you all because I know that so many persons have the dream, the vision to have their graduate program abroad. It could be in the US, in the UK, in Canada, in Australia, whatever country that may be. And they are wondering how do they go about it? Where do they start from? They're already overwhelmed, thinking about the whole process. They're wondering how exactly they will go about it. Some of them have tutu and they are wondering, do they even have any hope? So I'm here to share that information with you all today. My own personal life story, how I was able to navigate that part, and I got admission into 5 different schools in the US. I didn't pay any application fee. I didn't write any exam, IELTS, GRE. No, I didn't do any of that. Okay, so if this is something you want to learn and apply in your life, then keep watching. All right, so now let's get right into it. So last 2 years, 2024, I started applying. You apply a year before. I say apply in 2024, I think around September, around August, so that I can get admission into fall 2025. So in the US and in most countries abroad, they have fall, spring, and summer, the admission period. Good. So I was applying for fall 2025. That was last year. So I started applying 2024 around August or September. And at the end of it all, I applied to I think about 18 to 20 schools. Yes, I applied to that many schools because I knew the situation I was in. Okay, I didn't have a first class, so I knew that the chances wouldn't be as high as those who have a first class or a very high 2-1. You get? So I knew that I needed to put in extra efforts. I needed to go the extra mile to ensure that I actually get admission, and I was giving it my all. It was not like a do or die affair. I was giving it my all. So I told myself that I was going to apply to as many schools as possible. It's a game of numbers, so that when it comes to probability and all that, we know about a lot of probability, right? Good. So that even if it's one school that will give you admission, it's apply up to 20. There's no way that if you apply up to 20, 1 or 2 will not give you admission, and then with funding. Are you getting the picture? So if you're really serious about this, you just need to commit your mind, your body, your soul, every part of you into it. Okay, don't do any half-baked work or half measures. Commit all of you into it. Just believe that, and you have to start your mindset first of all. Why do you want to study abroad for this program, whatever country it is? Why? Okay, because that will be your driving force, because it can be so demanding, it can be so strenuous, so stressful, the pressure and everything, and then maybe coupled with the fact that maybe you have a job or you're running a business or you have a family, you have children. Oh my god, it can be a lot. So your why, the reason why you're doing this, will keep you going. Okay, what is that reason? You want to upgrade in your life, you want to get an extra degree, you want to whatever it is, you have to hinge on it. So you have to have that at the back of your mind in this whole journey. Good. So that was it. And then secondly, knowing that my grades from the undergraduate weren't as fantastic as my competitors would be, so I needed to put in extra efforts. So that's why I had to apply to about 18 to 20 schools. They were no less than that. Good. And at the end of the day, I got admission into 5 schools. So I applied to a lot of schools. So the 5 schools that I got admission into, I got admission to Emory University Master of Development Practice, MTP, a 2 years program. I got admission into University of Alabama, PhD in Educational Leadership and Policy Studies. Then University of Oregon, Masters in Education. Then University of Michigan, the Flint campus, which was a Masters in Public Administration. Then the last school that gave me admission was New York University, a very interesting program, 2 years program, Masters in Learning Technology and Experience Design. I want you to understand something. You have to, in this whole application process, you have to first of all know your situation, be true to yourself. If you know that, okay, you didn't graduate to first class, and you know that many first class students and students who have very good 2-1 second class upper would also be applying to these schools, in these programs, okay, then you have to put in your very best, give it extra efforts, go the extra mile. You just have to, whatever they are doing, yours should be times 10, okay, so you can stand the chance with them. That was what I did that made me to apply to these many schools. You know the law of numbers, right? Law of probability. So no matter what happens, there's no way you would apply to about these 20 schools and you don't get admission into one or two. Unless your village people are following you. Even if they're following you, they can't be that strong. Good. So you have to just give it extra energy, put in extra effort. That was what I did. So they know your why. Why are you doing this? Why are you applying to these schools? What's your reason? Why? Okay, because it's going to be a very daunting process. It can be very stressful, a lot of pressure, it's a lot of work, and then maybe coupled with the fact that maybe you have a job in 9 to 5, or you're running a business, or you have a family, you have kids. That's a whole lot more work. So you just have to know your why as you're starting this journey, so that would anchor you even at times when you want to give up. So I started this process by first of all checking, okay, what do I want to study? Okay, what program do I want to go for? My first degree was in parasitology and entomology, which is under biological sciences. But I knew that wasn't really what I wanted to do in the long run. Okay, and after I graduated, my work experience, which was about 5 to 6 years, okay, but yeah, more than that, was in the area of human capital development, education, learning technology, and all that, experience design and all that. So I knew that was what I wanted to go into in my graduate program. So because of that, I also had to put in extra effort, okay, to be able to convince them why I was going for this, considering that it was apart from my first degree. So in all the application materials I prepared and submitted, I had to make sure that I explained clearly why I was going for this program, the drive. I had to use numbers, metrics, storytelling, and all that. Now in subsequent videos, I will share with you samples of my SOPs, my essays, my letter, my resumes, and all the things I wrote that helped me to secure this admission, so that you can get inspired and learn how to also structure your own. Good. So now I had to start early to do a lot of research to know the schools in the US that are offering the program that I want to study, or the programs that I want to go into. Go. So I knew I wanted to go into education, sometimes education, learning technology, and all that. As you can see, the admissions I got, you are in that, in those areas. So I had to make a list of the schools that are offering these programs. Now beyond that, I also had, should I say, my own conditions, right? So I didn't want to write any exam. I didn't want to write any GRE, GMAT, or IELTS. So I had to check out for schools that would list for you there no GRE or no GMAT, in the application, that you don't need to submit it, or they'll tell you it's optional. So I made sure that the schools that I was applying to didn't make GRE or GMAT compulsory. Then secondly, I didn't want to write an IELTS exam. Okay, that's test of English. And so I had to check on the website to know if they excluded Nigerians from writing the IELTS exam. And you find that most of them, they'll give you a list of countries that don't need to write the exam. And most times Nigeria will be included. Or some will tell you, oh, if English language was your first native language, you don't need to write the exam. Okay? Or if the language of instruction in the schools you've already attended was English, they don't need to write IELTS exam. Most of them will say that. Okay, then the ones that didn't say that, I would email them, send to them my transcript, explain to them how English is a native language and all that, and they'll tell you, oh, okay, you don't need to worry about the IELTS exam. Good. So that's what I did to make sure that I didn't write that. Then also, I had to make sure that these schools were not asking for official transcripts up front. You know that some of them will tell you need to send the official transcripts now, but most of them will actually tell you, no, just send your unofficial transcripts. Then after you've gained admission, you will then submit the official one. Okay, so the unofficial transcript is the one that your school sends to you for as your property. Okay, but the official one can only be sent from your school to the other school. It cannot be sent through you. Okay, so that's the difference. So I have to check for all these things, make sure that I didn't have to pay application fee, I didn't have to write test of English exam, GRE or GMAT, or upload official transcripts now, because it's not when you send it now then you don't get admission, then you'd have spent that money, wasted it. Also, I had to make sure that I didn't have to do any form of WES evaluation, because some of the schools, they would ask that you must do your transcripts evaluation. Yes, they would ask of it. Some of them will tell you don't have to, that they will do it for you in the school, or just submit your full transcripts, they will handle it. So I had to make sure that I wasn't submitting into any program that would compulsorily ask me to go and get my WES evaluation results. Okay, so these are things I did to make sure that I didn't spend so much money in the application process. After I had done all these things, I checked the schools and the programs that ticked all the boxes for me. I outlined them on a document. You can use an Excel sheet, a Notion template, a Google Sheets, Google Doc, or book and pen. I outlined them with their deadlines, and then I stay applying, bearing in mind the deadlines, knowing which ones to give priority to at every point in time. Now, most of these schools, the things they would ask you of, which of course when you go to the website you see all of them stated there, but the typical things you'll be asked of are: number one, your resume. This is in no particular order. Know that they consider all your application material before making a decision. Okay, they don't admit you based on your CGPA or based on your resume or based on your letters of recommendation. No, they consider everything as a whole. Okay, so make sure that you give your best to every part of the application. Good. So number one, your resume. Okay, I'm going to share in subsequent videos samples of my resume that I used for the application. Now, you have to make sure the resume is tailored to that program you're applying for. Of course, you're not going to lie, because if you lie, you're hurting yourself, because you still have to defend it at a point in time. Okay, so make sure that you're being truthful, but that you're being smart and wise enough to tailor your resume to what you have done and what you're applying for. Okay, so let's take for instance, you want to apply for a program in education, and your work experience has been in the non-governmental organization field. You're working in an NGO, and not at a school, but your programs, you've had educational programs, health programs, and all those things. Make sure that whatever you're putting your resume there is something that those who are going through. So as you're applying, as you're writing these things, be putting yourself in the shoes of those who will be reviewing the application materials. So make sure that whatever you're writing, you're aligning them. Okay, the keywords, everything, the things you achieved and all that, you're aligning them based on what you've done and what you're trying to study, the program you're applying for. Okay, so when I share my samples with you, my resume, you understand better. We'll break it down, look at it, so that when you're doing yours, it won't be so much of a struggle. Now, after a resume, we have statements of purpose. Now, there are two essays they usually ask for: statements of purpose and personal statements. Sometimes they would ask you of only statement of purpose. Sometimes they would ask you of only personal statements. Sometimes they would ask you to submit it too. Now, don't get confused. Some people wonder, okay, what is the difference? What's the difference? For me, the most important thing for me at that point in time is to go to the website where they wrote the application materials, and then they mention the one you're supposed to solve, whether it's two of them or one. They will give you a prompt, what they want that essay to be about. That's the most important thing. Okay, because one school may tell you they want the statement of purpose to be about what you have done in the past, your work, the things you've done, use the STAR method, all those things. Then they tell you that they want the personal statement to be about who you are and what you want to become, what your future will be like, what you're looking at, your future outlook, and how this program will help you to achieve it. But at other school, the reverse may be the case. So it's not really carved in stone. So the best and the wisest thing is to go to the program website or the school's website and check the prompts. They usually give prompts. Okay, let your statement of purpose be about this, this, and this. Okay, good. So study it and work with it. But even if you're not given a prompt, I'll share with you the basic things, the most important things that should be in these two essays. Okay, And especially videos, as you subscribe and stay tuned, I'll share with you samples of my own, the ones that I used that helped me to get admission into the school. But I want you to know this as you prepare. Of course, you'll see the prompts on the website and all that, but know this, that whatever you're sharing, there should be a storytelling element to it. Okay, share stories to let them know why you want to apply for this program, why you're fit, okay, to study this program, why they should admit you, what you have done in the past that shows that this is your area of interest. And you have to show them your research capabilities, all those things. Okay, but like I said, I'll break it all down, but I just want to give an idea of the things you need to prepare as you start applying. Because we've talked about your resume, which is your CV. Remember, we have academic CV and more like a professional CV, which you use to look for job, for employment opportunities. It's quite different from the academic CV. Okay, and I'll do a video, I'll show you these differences. Okay, but your academic CV here, for admission purposes, you have to align it with what you're applying for, the program you're going for, not just what you've done, the work you've done in the past, but align it with what you're applying for. And here, education will come first before work experience. Okay, after your executive summary, education should come first before work experience. Then you cannot add your projects, publication skills towards the end. They will also ask you for letters of recommendation. Usually they ask for 2 to 3. Every school will ask for it, 2 to 3. Okay, maximum of 3, but they would be specific. If they told you 3, please give them 3. Don't give them less than that, so you can make sure that you've covered every loophole, you've crossed your T's and you've dotted your I's. Now, these letters usually ask for maybe at least one from a former lecturer of yours, from a professor in your school where you did your undergraduate. So it's good that you have cordial relationship with your lecturers in school, so you can reach out to at least one of them to help you with that. Then if you're able to get that one, the other 2 letters, if they're asking for 3, one has to be at least someone you've worked with, a colleague, or preferably a supervisor in your workplace. And to make it easier for them and better for you, okay, share with the people that are writing letters for you, share with them the work you've done over the past years that aligns with the program you're applying to, because they may not really know. We've not been keeping in touch. Can share your resume with them and all that. Let them know this is the school I'm applying to, this is the program I'm applying for, these are the things I've done, so that as they're writing letters for you, everything would correlate. Okay, everything would be in sync. And of course, let them know ahead of time. Let it not be an emergency work. Let them know early, so that they can have enough time to do it. So it shouldn't be a rush hour thing that the last minute you're rushing them and then they end up not being able to submit. In your application, apart from your statements of purpose, personal statement, there could also be some essays they would want you to write. They might ask you some questions, tell you to give answers to them. Okay, and you may not know until you open the application portal and you start the application. So in that case, make sure whatever answers you're giving them aligns with the program you're applying to, what you've done so far. Look for a way to tie them all together. Use metrics, use numbers. Okay, whatever you're doing, don't just talk vaguely. Let it not look like, oh, you just use Google or ChatGPT or copy someone's work. No, let yours be specific and unique to you. So when they're reading, they'll know that indeed it is this person that wrote this and had these experiences. Let them feel that connection to whatever you're writing for them. I'll share with you some of the short essay questions that I was asked in my application, especially for these 5 schools that gave me admission. Okay, I'll share them with you and the answers I gave to help guide you too. When I was applying, I didn't want to pay any application fee, so I had to look out for schools that would give me application fee waiver. Okay, so some of them, when you go to the website, you will see they'll list there that, oh, if you're affiliated with social and so organizations, you don't need to pay application fee, or if you're a US Army veteran, or you volunteered with the Teach for America or any other organization, they'll list them there. You don't need to pay. And some they'll tell you that if you're a graduate of the school, the undergraduate program that you did there, or if you can show financial hardship, then they'll give you an application fee waiver, right? Some of them would ask for documentation, maybe your bank statement or maybe a letter of financial aid that you once received in your home country or your undergraduate program, okay, to show as proof. And when you submit these things, you get your application fee waiver. So all the schools I applied to, I didn't pay application fee for one. I got this application fee waiver for about 25 schools that could only apply to about 18 to 20. I didn't pay any application fee. So I will tell you, when you attend their information session, you will see the events on their website. When you attend, they will give you fee waiver code. So I will tell you, oh, this week or these 2 weeks or these 3 days, if you apply and submit, you won't pay application fee. So be on the lookout, check their website, their social media, be on their email list to get all this information. I wasn't really so keen in looking out for schools that will offer full funding. I just wanted to get admission first, so I was applying to as many schools as possible. So if I applied to, let's say, 20, that was my plan, that is those 20, 4 or 5 should be able to offer me admission, and 1 or 2 should come with full funding, or at least 70% funding. But you can also choose to make sure that whatever program you're applying to, they offer full funding. Do your research, you'll see it on their portal. They could ask you, oh, you can get graduate assistantship or scholarship or this or that. You apply for scholarships, or you email them. Always email, ask questions. Of course, in a very polite and sensible way. And make sure whatever you're emailing them for has not already been answered on the website or in the frequently asked questions tab on the website. Also, when you're applying, some of them would ask for some extra documentation, maybe your certifications, any extra information you want to give them. Some of them will give you room to drop more documents or write more essays just to confuse them further. Anyone you see, even if it's optional, please take it. Don't say, oh, it's optional. No, take it. Take full advantage of them, okay? And always find ways to convince them that you can do this, okay? That you have the research experience or teaching experience in these areas, your work experience, you've done this and that. Also, many of these programs could ask you to submit writing sample. Now, when they ask you to submit writing sample, they will tell you how they want it to. Maybe it should just be 20 pages or 10 to 15 pages, or they will not give you any length, okay? But they want the writing sample to show them that you're ready for graduate work or for research work, okay? Your writing sample may not necessarily be connected to what you're applying for. Maybe you're applying for a program in public health and you have something you've written in education, okay? It must not really be connected. What is important to them, which they also tell you, is that they want to see your ability to reason well, analytically, critically, and do research work or write a publication and stuff like that, okay? For me, most of the writing samples I used was a book I wrote, okay, for children and teenagers on life skills. And here I was applying for a program in education. You could say, okay, maybe it's connected education, you wrote a book for children, yeah, so there is that little connection there. But even if yours can be connected, or you can even write a fresh something, wonderful. But if not, even if it's not connected, just make sure that whatever you're submitting shows your ability to do research work, to think critically, analytically, and all that. And they will give you some prompt for the writing sample, so make sure you follow the prompts the way it is given, okay, that you're able to fulfill all their requirements. As you're doing these things, document, because you'll be applying to many schools, many programs. You don't need to start writing things afresh. What you do is to just work and make sure that each one you're applying for, the contents of the essay or whatever aligns with that program or with that school, so it won't look like a generic thing. For instance, in my essays, which I'll also share with you, you'll see how I'll mention the school name, whatever I'm writing is specific to that school. Oh, and of course, the professors that you want to work with, it's important. Let's highlight 2 or 3, minimum of 2 or 3 that you want to work with, and show why you want to work with them, how your work is connected. Very important, because as they're admitting you and you get into the school, they have to, join you, connect you with a professor who would help work with you in your research and all that. You have to show them that you've done your research and that 2 or 3 who are doing similar work with you, and because that would also convince them that, okay, you've great fit for them to admit you. So these things are very important, okay? I thought to just make this video to give you an idea of what the process is about, the things I did, and how I was able to get admission into these 5 schools in the US, even with not having a first class, not writing GRE or GMAT, not writing IELTS, and not paying any single application fee. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this. Watch out for the next video. I'll be sharing samples of my SOPs and all these documents with you. I'll be sharing them with you. It can guide you in writing yours and giving your best out there. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, hit the subscription button, share with others to watch, and watch out for the next videos. Alright, and I wish you the very best of luck.